Hey everybody, and welcome to a Tatter-a-fact. This is Teryn. We are at the Girls Inc. studio in Las Vegas, and thanks for joining us. So today, I got a couple of guests, two of my favorite ladies, actually. I got, my wife Kat is here.
Hello.
It's been a while, Kat, since you sat down on Tatter-a-fact with me.
It has been a minute, yes.
I know. But you got your hair done.
Yes, so I was willing.
Because you're feeling like, you're looking good. Yeah, you like your hair. Willow told me 2 days ago, she was like, yeah, Kat's got to do the podcast on Saturday because she got her hair done and she looks good. I'm like, okay. And we got Mary Ritcherson back with us today.
Hello.
Hi, Mary.
Hi.
So you are my most, how do I say it? Well, most appeared guest, the guest I've had on the most featured.
Well,
this is your third time on
yes,
Tatter-a-fact.
Yes.
Wow.
Happy to be here.
I know.
As always.
I know. Well, I love having you on here. So you're here in town because you're doing another class here.
I have a class the next 2 days.
Yes. A nano class.
Yes.
Machine nano class.
Hands-on
Hands-on.
for students.
For students.
Awesome
Yes.
class. Yes.
All right. So let's just dig right in. I wanted to ask you this, and we talked a little bit about what we wanted to gab about today and made like a rough outline. Like, so just threw down some bullet points so we're not rambling and scatterbrain. But this just came to me. What have you noticed, Mary, about machine hair strokes that has changed or evolved compared to even, let's say, 5 years ago to now, when it comes to like maybe style, speed, pigments? I don't know. Has anything changed or evolved when it comes to nano? I know the name has changed. We used to call them machine hair strokes.
And that's
Now-
what it is.
Yeah. So now they're called nano strokes. There's other names for them. But is there anything like really like significant, like with technique or look or anything that has like changed in the last 5 years?
I think all the above. Needles, pigments, techniques, proper training,
Yeah.
movement, depth, speed, all play a role into it. I feel like I've gotten better every year just by watching other technicians and trying new things and kind of challenging myself on speed, the depth of the needle, and finding that the less is more with this. And I would overwork the eyebrows.
Yeah.
I would do too many passes. I would go over the strokes 2 or 3 or 4 times. I do one full pass and with a little decorating and I'm done. I find that less is more with this, and my results have been coming back amazing. Obviously, pigments play a huge role in it. I find for my mature skin, I like to use more of the iron oxide,
inorganic.
inorganic.
So the industry's not really calling them iron oxides anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're mineral
Mineral pigments. Yes.
or inorganic. So we've kind of gone back to that.
Yeah. So I find that those pigments are wonderful for my mature skin. So we know they're drier, and I
Yeah.
feel like they pull and hold color beautifully.
Mm-hmm.
I actually err on the side of caution when I use any pigment on mature skin. And then I find the organic lines are phenomenal for most skin types.
Yeah.
So
especially the oily, or if they're resistant
I'm
to taking
having
color
luck with
of the oily.
all of it now. It's
Yeah.
like insane. Like you remember me, I would shy away from redheads. I would shy away from
Yeah.
the oily skin and the corrections. I'm doing all of that now.
Oh, wow.
Because pigments have gotten so much better. I would say definitely got better in the last 5 years.
Yeah. I think artists really have to think now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be more strategic. And incorporate both.
Yeah.
Into your work and know when to use when to use an inorganic, when
Yep.
that's going to be better for the
Yep.
client, and know when to use an organic and when an organic is going to be best
Yep.
for the client.
Yep.
So how has speed changed, like for you personally?
I used to work fast. I used to just swipe through my strokes and wipe and nothing was there. I find that now that I've methodically slowed down a little bit, I wipe, it's there. Like it's there and I don't have to go over it but one time. And if I want to enhance the depth of the color, then I'll go over it a little bit more. I call it decorating.
Yeah.
But I've learned to stay really light at the bulb and at the arch. Even my friend saying, the arch is the danger zone. And I find that I have to be much lighter with my hand there as well.
The arch is the danger zone.
That's
Yeah,
an
that's
interesting
Na
statement,
taught me
right?
that.
Like
Na
what's
taught me
like
that.
what's dangerous about it?
it's like skin on bone. It just grabs color. It blows out super easy. I find, well, me personally, I've seen it myself. It's happened to me. I've seen it with my students. They're too heavy in that area. You got to be lighter in that area.
Yeah.
It is, and it truly, and it goes for ombre too. Not taught me
So
that.
you got to
and
lighten
it's
up your
true.
pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want the top of the brow to be a little bit lighter and the bulb to be a little bit lighter to give more of a like almost like an ombre hair stroke effect.
Yeah. That's same with the powder brow. You know,
Yeah.
I've been doing powder brows, you know, for 20 somewhat years. And same thing. I always tell everybody, like, one on the same face, one eye, you know, the eyebrows, your pressure changes throughout that one eyebrow on the same face. You know, where maybe you have to do a little bit more pressure on a tail or the bulb because the skin's thicker, you know, and in the arch, sometimes, especially if they have a high arch and that arch is laying right over bone, which a lot of times it is. Sometimes it isn't, but a lot of times it is. You have to lighten up your pressure. So even with a powder brow, I think we all, we've all learned stuff the hard way.
Yeah.
I think especially, maybe not especially, but you know, people like you and I that have been in this for, you know, 20 years, you know, I just celebrated 22 years.
I just celebrate 19.
19.
Yeah,
Happy birthday. You know, I'm not saying it's easier today for artists because there's nothing easy about learning and getting good at PMU, but there's more readily available education today, like at your fingertips, than there was for you and I when I was starting.
Had I known what I know now.
Yeah. But with that said, you have to sort through the good and correct information and the good training through the misinformation and the bad training.
Yes.
So, right?
Yes.
I know.
Yes. And sometimes you have to do something to understand why you don't do it again. You know, you have to like learn a hard lesson. I learned many over 19 years.
Yeah. Isn't
you know,
that
I think
like,
we all do. I don't care how good, you know, everybody says I'm a good artist. I know I'm good at what I do. I make mistakes too.
Yeah.
I have had everything that could, you see all my addendums. Hello.
Yeah.
Come on. You know, they're there for a reason.
No, but that's true. I mean, you have to do something.
Mary's really good about sharing the information too.
Yeah.
A lot of trainers don't share their information. You're really good about sharing your information.
I try. I do my best.
Yeah, you're super generous. And a lot of trainers are not generous. They're not. They want to give the student only so much, but they hold back. And I think that and why is that? Is that a fear because the student's going to go out and be better than them, well, what is it? Why would you get into training if you're not going to lay it all out there and give it all to the student? Why do you think some trainers do that?
I think kind of we're all guilty of that in the beginning of training. In the beginning, I'm like, I earned this status. I don't want to just give it away. I was there in the beginning. And over the years, I'm like, you know what? Why are they coming to me if I'm not going to share 110% with them?
Yeah.
So I was that person. And I know a lot of my trainer friends were the same way.
Yeah.
But I learned that, you know, you can't give 100% of yourself as a trainer if you're not going to give 100% of what you do, how you do it, where you buy your things, everything. I give everything next to where I bought my house. Like I do everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too.
I know.
And happily so. I mean, I'm really happy to do it.
And most trainers don't last as long as you and I have lasted. Do you know, as trainer, like no, I'm not
Girl,
kidding.
yeah.
So
I know
we're doing something right.
We're doing something right. I know.
Yeah.
I am celebrating. So it's 22 years in September. I've been doing PMU, and my first class, my first student, I was 4 years in. So that puts me at 17 years in the classroom training.
So I always gauge my training because Monica Ivani was in my very first class in Ireland, and she was pregnant with her daughter. So however old her daughter is, she's either 9 or 10 is how long I've been training.
Yeah.
Wow.
So and people always ask, well, I want to be a trainer. How did you become a trainer? And I said, when people started asking me to train, I didn't just say I was going to go train. When people started asking me to train, that's when I go, okay, maybe I do have a little something I can share.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good advice because some people don't know when to train. You know? Some people force it. They get into the training before they're ready, before they're skilled enough, before they know enough.
They see the dollar signs.
Because they want the training dollars. That's right. And rather than waiting for their work to reach a certain level, their knowledge to reach a certain level, and now people are approaching them and saying, hey, your work is great.
Yeah,
I
that's
see
how
you
you know
answering
you're ready.
questions on Facebook, and wow, you know your stuff. I like the way you answer. I like the way you mentor. That's the way it was for me too. Yeah. People just started asking, and I'm like, oh my goodness. And I remember being so nervous. But okay. So we're on classes here for a minute. So what about class size? So we went through this period where classes were massive. I mean, you had people doing these massive classes with, I don't know, 30, 40, 50, 60, more maybe. We saw these big, huge productions.
Yes.
And I'm not really seeing that anymore unless I'm missing something. Are they not doing those big, massive classes anymore?
I think a lot of those were in Europe. I don't see many of those anymore either. I think the economy has affected it, I'm sure. But I feel people realize there's been a lot of backlash about the big classes. So I think that the trainers are going to kind of steer away from it. I am shrinking my class sizes now.
But your classes have always been intimate, Mary, like mine.
Yeah.
I've never taken on more students than I could personally handle and make sure that they got one hell of a class and they got, my attention throughout the class. And I used to do 6, and well, actually I would do 8, but I would have
an assistant.
I'd have two of my apprentices in there that were pretty darn good, helping and assisting. And but now when I doing a class alone, 4. That is my max.
Yeah,
at 4.
Me too now. 4.
100%. So I haven't seen a lot of those big classes anymore either.
Well, Nano's not easy to learn. And when I have to spend time intimately with each student, I mean, it's when you have 10 students in the class,
oh my God,
it's too much. And I used to do 10 and 12 students.
I remember you
now,
being there.
And if I would collab with another trainer, that would be a different story. But doing it by myself, I don't know how I did it. I'll never do it again. It wasn't fair to the students either. I feel like some people needed a little bit more attention.
Yeah, well, you and I did Shades and Strokes together.
Yeah.
For years and years, 8, 9, 10 years.
16 of them.
We did 16 of them. And we had, like 34?
33.
30.
Well, England had 43.
Yeah,
44.
Right. But we would do every 6 months. It sold out 33 people.
Yeah.
That's a rather large class. But it was always amazing feedback. And that jump-started a lot of artists into great careers and being trainers. Why do you think that we would do a class with 33 students? And it was a different experience. It was a wonderful experience. We didn't get that backlash. Was it the way we approached it? Was it the format? Why do you think ours was successful at 33 and it changed lives? Because I just had Tanya Chase. Do you remember Tanya Chase?
Yes.
She just posted not too long ago about Shades and Strokes.
Oh,
and that was years ago she took it and how it changed her. And she kind of did the circle, 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 shuffle, 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 which happened to be my portion of the class. I would do that little ditty with them. So why do you think our class was successful at 33?
We stayed with those. We would go person to person, sliding on our stool, going to each person, and we stayed with them till they got it.
Sometimes we were there till 9 o'clock at night.
Right, and
at least.
And
sometimes 9 o'clock at night. We were there.
And we would just stay with them.
They were long days.
They were long days, but we'd go through all these people, and at the end of the class, if someone needed a little bit more help, we'd stay in the back of the room and be with them.
Yeah, and they were 3 days long.
They were 3 days long, and we had a special guest artist sometimes.
We always had a special guest artist. We always set up a table in the back with machines that if they weren't working personally with you or I or the guest artist, they could go sit back at the table with a machine on latex with one of my apprentices or apprentices.
Yeah.
So there was always something going on in that classroom. There was,
So it's funny that we're even talking about Shades and Strokes. I have a woman private student coming to me December 16th and 17th from Alaska who came to our very first Shades and Strokes.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I think it was her first. I think she said it, but she came to Shades and Strokes. How cool is that?
Yeah. That is really, really cool. Yeah. And you've been all up my dizzle trying to get me to agree to do
I think we should do one
Shades
a year.
One Shades and Strokes a year to bring them back and do a Shades and Strokes next year. So let's ask our listeners.
Yeah.
All right. So all you tater tots out there, if a Shades and Strokes class by me and Mary, we would do it here at the studio. We'd have like maybe 10, 12 students. That's what we did do a couple here. And I think we
did 14 students.
14 students. But it's you and I, it's my apprentices. If that sounds interesting, and it's Mary's technique, nano strokes, and it's my technique, the potted brow. If that's something you would be interested in, you would attend, then let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know. Let's get some feedback on and see if there's any interest in that. All right. Okay, cool.
Well, I was kind of thinking at the casino. Are you kidding?
Oh gosh.
We did
Oh,
that. We did
Lord.
many of those.
We did many of those.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe
God.
we start slow, like
Baby
baby
step it back
steps.
into it.
Baby steps.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Those
yes,
were a lot of
please.
work, but they were fun.
Yes.
And
More
what,
so on you
What
guys.
did you call your followers?
Oh,
Tater tots.
tatter tots.
Tatter
Tots.
tots.
Tater
Okay,
tots.
That's
That's
cute.
good. I like it.
Isn't that,
Yeah.
like, cute?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't come up with that. I can't take credit for that. One of our listeners,
Call themselves.
no, just said we're tatter tots, and then I responded and I told her, oh my God, that's so cute. I'm going to use that. I got to use that. And then she was candid, saying I can't take credit for that. There's a tattoo guy out there. I can't remember his name, but he teaches a lot and gives a lot of little nuggets on body tattooing, and he calls beginner body tattoo artists tatter tots.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wonder why.
Did he
But-
trademark it?
Tatter.
No.
okay,
You're the queen of
tattoo.
trademarks
Yeah.
over there.
No, but I wouldn't trademark it. I would
No,
never do
no,
that,
yeah.
you know, and I would never use it that way. I would, but I just call our listeners tatter tots because I think it's cute.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. So no, it's not trademarked, but anyway. Okay, so yeah. All right, Kat. So so you mentioned the economy,
Yes.
and that is affecting, and you think maybe that's affecting class sizes, and I think it's affecting a lot of things, both in the PMU industry. We're seeing posts pop up like crazy. One just about 5 or 6 days ago, and when I looked at it, it had like over 158 comments. And every few weeks, one of these posts are popping up, and the post is, you have an artist asking, is everybody else experiencing, a slowdown in business, this, that, and the other? And 90% of the comments are yes, and they're wondering if is it because the industry's saturated? Is it because the economy? Blah blah blah. And I think there's maybe 3 different reasons. I think yes, saturation, because of the what were they called? A lot of people were calling the type of training multi-level marketing training, where they're promising them 100,000, 6-figure income every year. Come train with me. Come take this class.
You'll drive a Rolls Royce in 5 years.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And people are figuring out that is so not realistic and not going to happen. And it really bothers me that you still see this type of advertisement out there. I just saw someone post, I think it was on her website, quit your job.
Oh, Lord.
Quit your job and come learn permanent makeup. I did, and make $100,000 a year. And that is just ridiculous, and it's irresponsible.
Yeah.
It's irresponsible. Even in a good economy,
I
that
think
is
smart
irresponsible.
people can see that. That's a money grab.
And why are so many people following it?
I don't know.
Doing it.
and
They're gonna
doing
learn.
it.
They'll come back though in a year and complain and bitch about it though.
Oh,
they're
You
bitching.
know?
They're
but
bitching
it's their
about
fault.
it. Oh,
But they didn't, see the red flags ahead of time.
We get
Mhm.
countless emails of people complaining that
Countless
that's what
emails.
they did.
Yeah.
They did that and then they regretted it.
And then they regretted it. And then some of them want to continue on. A lot of, we do a 12-month apprenticeship here. 12 months long. They're here 4 days a week. It's really well-rounded. And I would say 75% of our apprentices have taken one of these crappy classes that promised them $100,000 income. And they spent money. They spent $5,000, $6,000, and didn't get much training. Didn't get hardly any hands-on. Didn't get color, and none of that.
One of them got just online training.
One of them got just online.
And they got a certificate to start working on
they
people.
They spent $5,000, and 100% of it was online.
Well, that's her fault too. I mean, come on.
Never went into the studio.
Yeah, no, that would be
She
like.
thought that's the way it was.
She thought that's the way it was everywhere.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I know. So some people, it's not their fault. They think that's the way it is.
Mm-mm.
So now quite a few of these people have come here because they were fascinated. Maybe they were heartbroken. Maybe they were upset. They lost that money. They got bad training. but something about permanent makeup is still like burning inside of them. They want to continue. So now they're here, or maybe they're finding other really good trainings. So
now they'll be successful because now you're on their team.
100% they'll be successful.
You're on their team. I told all the girls that I'm training tomorrow, your 3 apprentices, they are in the best hands that they could be in.
Yeah.
I said that to them. Yep. And it's the truth, because you I mean, not to get all like mushy and everything, but you've really changed my game, how I approached my career. You know what? It's been 14 years since I've known you. How long has it been? Like 14 years.
A long time.
No, listen, anybody that has you on their side, they're going to be successful. And that's the truth.
Oh, well, back to you, Mary. I mean, you and I talk a lot about business and about this and about that and the other, and you have really good ideas, and
Great ideas.
And you run a good business too. And look at you, your longevity. Look, longevity isn't just luck, and it doesn't just happen. Longevity in this industry, where you're still really relevant and viable and selling classes and training and teaching, which is you. It's me, it's you, and there's others as well. But that doesn't just happen. It doesn't just happen. Do you know? It happens because of the work because of the human you are, the type of artist you are, the type of trainer you are, and what you give to all those that seek you out for training and work and support and all that. It's not a given. Longevity in this industry is not a given.
It's also talent.
It's also talent. Yeah. And I think and don't you think it's how you treat people?
Oh yeah.
Because I've seen talented people
that are mean.
Oh yeah.
That are mean and they don't do well.
I hear that from my
or the
students.
divas. They become they get some success.
Pretentious.
And now they become pretentious divas. They have an entourage and they're unapproachable now. Or everybody is a little, well, I don't do that anymore. Yeah. They're a little,
well, we don't put on a front. We are who we are. We're real. I'm a jean and sneaker girl. You know what I mean? It's just who I am, and
very much so. Yeah. Myself included. Although I do wear a little, snazzy outfits here and there.
Yeah, but I don't think I'll ever see you in a dress. You're never going to see me in one. So,
but no, I'm still a working girl. Big time in the trenches doing the work. For Christ's sakes, I still scrub toilets here in the studio and clean up and take out the trash and do all that crap. Yeah. Do you know?
You got to stay humble. Your humility speaks volumes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know what I believe? I believe you don't ask your people, your staff, or your team not to do anything you're not willing to do.
That's true.
Yeah, that's been our philosophy.
Yeah, that's really good. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, except I do ask Willow to.
Poor Willow.
What do I ask you to do, Willow, that I'm not willing to do? Is there something? Edit the podcast. Oh, well, only because I'm not as fast. It would take me a long time. And Willow can get on that and edit it and beautify me and do what I need her to do, like, so quick. And she likes it. Gets her off the computer and all the other, like, mundane stuff she has to do day to day. So don't let her convince you she doesn't enjoy it, because she likes editing. But yes, that's one thing that they do that I won't do. I love editing. I know you love editing. Okay, so economy's not good. People are suffering. It's affecting their financial. It's affecting their mental health. It's anxiety, so I think it's 3 things. I think it is oversaturation, right? Completely oversaturated. I do think it's definitely the economy. Do you know? Yes. And I'm wondering if it's also because so many people flooded this industry with 2 days of training under their belt and then all the bad work. Why do you think saline removal just took off like wildfire? Because of all the bad work. Do you guys, Kat and Mary, do you think that the public is seeing all this bad work? Because some of this bad work has gone viral, for Pete's sake. It's gone viral. Yeah. Do you think the public is seeing the bad work? And so it's also the public taking a couple steps back and maybe not being as willing to jump in and get their permanent makeup done?
I think since COVID money. I think they're watching every dollar they spend right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think too, yes, botch work. I've seen a lot more than I've ever seen
Mm-hmm.
in the last couple of years.
Yep.
But I do think that people got scared. COVID scared a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, you don't know what's going to happen right
It
now.
changed a lot of people.
It changed
and
a
they're
lot of
still
people.
not recovered.
Exactly. And
You
I
know?
see that. I mean, I think my prices are very fair. When I tell people, I'm like, oh my God, really? I'm like going, wow. And I really do feel that people are just afraid to spend the money again.
I think COVID for many of us, and some not, but for a lot of people, it was it was this moment in time that no one ever thought in their lifetime they would ever see, witness, or experience. And it kind of, how do I want to put this?
But open their eyes that something this terrible could happen.
It could happen.
Yeah. Oh,
Something like this can happen.
Yeah.
A country, the world can shut down.
Yeah. And a lot of people weren't financially prepared. A
Weren't-
lot of people
because no one thought in a million
Exactly.
years
That would ever happen.
this
You
could
know?
ever happened, and it happened. Whether it was, whether and it doesn't matter where you stand on this. I never really got into that, but whether it should have shut down, not shut down, that's another whole discussion that I would rather not have because those opinions are across the board. But it did happen, and here we are. So I think it really changed a lot of people, and I think you're right.
Yeah.
It put people on notice and made them more conservative.
Yep. And that's when, when we were talking about pivoting your pricing, you're going to have to pivot your pricing. You can't charge $1,200 for eyebrows and get $1,200. You better give them perfect eyebrows that don't fade or do anything for $1,200.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just feel like that people need to, anybody, trainers or artists need to just kind of pivot to have to cater to everybody that you can get into your door that's worthy of having it done,
I also think that a lot more people have their eyebrows done now. Right.
Yeah, there's
so
a lot
less clients to be
Yeah,
had.
There's
I
less
think
clients
you've
to be
tattooed
had.
half of Vegas, Teryn.
I probably have
seriously.
tattooed half of Vegas. I know.
I know. I did Tampa for 16,000 clients.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. I never really thought about that, Kat. But
Yeah.
I mean, the pool of available
Smaller.
naked brows, or
But
maybe
people get
it's-
older every day, so you got a new little group coming up on you.
Right. It's
God.
like there's always a new
Yeah.
client being, born every day, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's less and less babies being born though.
Yeah.
So
There are
somebody just told me that Home Goods, TJ Maxx Home Goods, took out their baby department and increased the puppy department because there's not so many people buying children's clothes anymore. I thought that was
more
interesting.
and more people and couples are choosing puppies over having
babies.
babies.
Who wants to
So-
bring babies in this world right now?
Well, it's a scary
world right now.
It is a scary world. It is a scary world right now, and some, and somehow, somewhat way, everybody, including myself and Kat, I keep wanting to call you my wife, Kat. We have to find, we have really good communication, open dialogue, and we get scared sometimes. It's like I don't want to completely turn off the news, Mary, because I want to stay educated and informed. I want to be an informed person, but I can't watch it too much, or it really permeates your brain and your thoughts, and it can scare you. Like what's going on in the world right now is scarier to me than navigating through COVID.
Yeah, it's scary.
Yeah, and somehow, some way, you have to find a way to navigate through these scary times and have faith and believe that it's going to be okay, so it doesn't affect your mental health, or you minimize the effects on your mental health, right? So we made a few little bullet points on how some suggestions that artists can implement or maybe take a look at to help them through this economy. And I guess the one thing I would say about this economy is that it's affecting everybody, right? Big corporations, small companies, the singular artist. It's affecting everybody in permanent makeup, and it's affecting most people outside of permanent makeup, in homes, family homes, businesses. So one way, like you said, is pivot your pricing, maybe a reduction in your price.
Run a special.
Run specials. Find, things throughout the year to run specials. Also, maybe is to, when you do work on a client, maybe do referral programs. Like if that client refers you, the client she referred gets a discount on their new procedure, and then that client who referred you, maybe she earns some referral points that she can cash in and use towards her next appointment with you.
I do $25, and I just put a credit in their file towards permanent makeup or microneedling, not Botox or anything like that. But for like other services, they get a $25. If they send me 5 people, it's what, $100?
Yes. So maybe developing some type of referral program for your clients, reducing your pricing a little bit, doing some sales, whatnot.
Get those pricing. Google reviews. I just actually, as soon as I'm done with my procedure, I will cut and paste my link right to my review and make it easy for them. They'll do it within 24 hours. Yeah. So everybody's going to Google now. So
what about Groupon?
I think that devalues somebody's worth. So, I personally would never do a Groupon. I could see it for like facials and stuff like that, but not for permanent makeup.
Not for permanent makeup.
No.
But reducing your pricings or doing on special, putting things on special, that doesn't devalue your service.
Exactly.
But
it's like I'm taking $100 off. I just celebrated 19 years. I'm running it to the end of the year. $100 off because I'm happy. I have 19 years under my belt, so you're going to reap the rewards of my 19 years.
Right.
So 100. We still make good money even with discounts.
Yeah. Well, there's Thanksgiving coming up. Right. You can run a special. There's Christmas coming up. You can run a Christmas special.
Fall into new eyebrows.
Yeah. The Christmas special. I remember my first couple of years. 3 years in permanent makeup. December would, oh my God,
crazy.
It was kill me. I was just an artist, trying to, build my portfolio, build my business. You and I weren't even really together yet, Kat. But and I would die during Christmas. I mean, I could barely pay my bills. And so the next Christmas, what I did was I took $100 off any new procedure, and that December
filled your books.
It not only did that fill my books, that was my best month every year. That year and every year after that, that was my biggest money month. Did I work my ass off? Yes. Did I work longer days? Did I work longer? I did. Getting everybody in that wanted to take advantage of that $100 off.
Yeah.
But it was all worth it because it ended up being a really good money month for me. So that's a good thing to do. Okay. Also, I think maybe, some good financial hygiene and, finding ways to operate your business more leanly, right? And some ways to do that maybe is to don't wait until the last minute to order something you need for a client because you're going to have to pay overnight expedited shipping. We're still seeing that.
Yes.
And it boggles. We see it a lot.
Sometimes they might get a last minute client. But
so maybe planning maybe bulk ordering a little bit, and saving on shipping fees and not getting yourself in a position where you have to do overnight or expedited shipping that increases your fees. One for me, which I just found out, is looking at your phone apps. These renewing automatic phone apps. I had 2 that I had not used in like 2-3 years, and I was paying for them every year. So go into your phone. You can find those apps, and if you're not using them, cancel them. And I don't think these apps should be able to automatically renew. They don't have to send you an email or a notice either. A lot of them.
Because when you originally sign up, they get you.
They get you because you don't read the fine print.
Yeah.
Who reads the fine print?
Yeah. No one.
No one. So you agree to that.
Maybe Willow.
Well, that would not surprise me.
One thing that I do.
That's one Willow. That's one. That's the second thing. That's 2 things now Willow does that I will not do.
One thing that I do, like I knew, like summertime for me is my slower times because you can't be in the sun, sweat, and all that, right? So June, July, and August are my slower months. So when I'm busy, January, February, March, April, May, making better money, I will pay my rent ahead of time for the 3 months that I'm slow.
That's so smart.
That's super smart.
Yeah, so I do that. So instead of paying the 1 month, I'll actually pay 3 months at a time, and I'm done. Now I'm good. Now I'm in my busy time of year now, the holidays. So I don't have to sweat it. It's paid for. I had extra money. Yeah, maybe I didn't go to something else, but I paid my bills for 3 months straight. Or if
Yeah.
you guys could even do 1 month.
Well, you know what I did when we were doing Shades and Strokes, and we split everything 50-50, and then we each got a paycheck after
Yep.
those 3 days.
Yep.
And it was a good paycheck.
It was a
man.
good
We'd make
paycheck.
good money. I was already living and surviving off my clients, and I would do my one-on-ones here at the zoo. That Shades and Strokes paycheck,
You paid your house off.
yes, I did.
Yep.
Every 6 months, I would take that check and we would put it right on the mortgage.
Yep.
All those years, and that's how Kat and I got our house paid off.
Yeah.
And and it took a little bit more. Yeah, I think it was a little bit more than Shades and
You
Strokes.
did it in 2 years. I think you told me you did it in 2 years.
Yeah, well, we owned that house 12 years.
Yeah.
It took us 12 years to pay that home off.
That's amazing.
And I didn't, and when I started training and doing like 4-person student classes and making training money there, and you and I started Shades and Strokes, I didn't buy a new vehicle. I still remember my old Ford truck.
Your truck and your Camry.
And our Toyota Camry.
Yeah.
My truck had almost 300,000 miles, for Pete's sake, and I wasn't proud of it. I didn't like to valet it, but I just my priorities were so in order for me, and it was just so important. I wanted to pay my house off because I just didn't ever. Kat and I just never wanted to worry about that. And so it was 2 of us really laser focused on that. And every paycheck, I didn't increase my lifestyle. We didn't go shopping. We didn't do any of that. We took every training check and put it on the mortgage and got that house paid off.
On top of that, you save hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally, by paying off your mortgage early.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had a 30-year mortgage. I think most people have a 30-year mortgage. So we paid ours off in 12 years. And by paying that house off in 12 years, you did all the calculations. And one of these days, you and I are going to do a podcast, Kat, with exact figures. We talk about this all the time because it's one thing to make good money. Lots of people in this industry make good money. It's another what to do with that good money.
Yeah.
Right? So you set yourself up. So you go into your retirement years with a home paid off, with money in your bank, because we don't have 401ks and, and that sort of stuff, in PMU, we're we have to provide all that for ourselves. But by paying our house off in 12 years and not extending it to the 30, we saved, it was over $200,000. Am I correct?
No, it was more than that, I think. Yeah.
It was more than that. Was more than $200,000.
That's unbelievable.
We saved. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Well, they say if you make 2 extra payments to principal only in 1 year, it knocks it down from a 30 to a 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 principal payments, only.
Yes. I want to do a money podcast
That's a
where
good idea.
Kat and I really lay out everything with the price of a house, what it's so, because I don't think people realize this. Once Kat, and there's a certain calculator and calculation that you can do.
Mortgage calculator, yeah.
Mortgage calculator. And Kat did a bunch of research and wrote everything down. And then when you sit down and you read it and you look at it on a piece of paper.
Yes, it's real.
It's real. And I'm like, and I'm pretty good with my money. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If we extend this to, are you kidding me? We'll save like $200,000 and something.
It's really shocking.
It's shocking. It's shocking. And I don't think people realize this.
No. Well, I learned a lot of that from you.
Yeah.
After you told me you paid off your house, that's my goal now too. I've been in my home for 4 years. I don't owe much left. I could have paid it off, but you know me, I didn't. Thank God I didn't, because
and think about, Mary. What if we got in a car accident? What if we broke our hand and we couldn't tattoo anymore?
Yeah.
No one can take your home away from you if it's paid off.
Right.
I mean, you would go on disability. You have a little saving. You could always pay your utilities.
Right.
Taxes
and
your taxes and keep that thing going.
But you lit that fire under me years ago.
And I'm glad I did.
You did,
because I love you, and I want to see everybody that I care about and I love
be successful.
So I'm in
be
the will?
Successful.
I'm kidding.
You're getting all the dogs.
I'm getting all the dogs. I'll take them.
You better be quiet. Ro is going to kill you.
I know.
I talk about that with Willow and Olivia and my team here. Like, I'm always trying to, about them, saving for a down
Prepping
payment.
now,
And Willow's young. She only cares about her skateboard and,
Skateboard.
I know, when you're 20s, you it's not your priority. Like it was not mine, but I had my dad yakka, like in my ear, and he drove me nuts and he annoyed me and I didn't care what he was telling me, but I still heard it.
Your
But
dad's awesome.
My dad's awesome. But in my 20s, it just annoyed me because I didn't care about saving money. And so I'm that to Willow. I'm like, I'm annoying. I'm in her ear because I know she doesn't care right now because she's 20 something. But I'm that annoying thing in her ear because I love her dearly and I care about her. And my dad would always say to me, you're going to get to a certain age, honey. And you're gonna appreciate these things that I'm telling you. You're gonna look back. You're gonna look back, and you're gonna be glad that I was on your ass about this, and then and I drove you nuts and blah 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 blah. Yeah. And that's what I would say to Willow. You're gonna look back. Although I annoy the shit out of you sometimes, and you're like, Teryn, put a sock in it. I just want to like get hickeys from my boyfriend, ride my skateboard, and walk my puppy.
I don't think people realize they don't have to put a ton of money away to have money in the future.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
but let me ask you, Willow, has me talking about this, and I don't harp on you guys, but I know I do bring it up. Has any sunken,
influenced?
Has it influenced you at all? Or you're still at the point where I don't care.
I don't think it's influenced me house-wise yet, but I mean, because of everything you and Kat have talked about, I have signed up for the retirement
401k.
Oh, well, that is a win.
I feel like that is a win.
That is a win. Yeah, like usually in their 20s, like they don't want to hear it. And I know that.
But can they imagine they start now? When they're
Well,
our age
that's
or
what-
older,
they could be millionaires.
They could be millionaires.
Yes.
If you start now and you're in your 20s, you can retire with like $3 million.
Yeah. Well, I started for my granddaughter already.
Yeah. Well, geez, she's
The day
gonna
she was
retire.
born.
Yeah, she's going to retire billionaire.
Yep,
She's
she can't
starting at
touch it.
3 years
She
old.
can't have it till she's 21.
Yeah.
I did my
Yeah.
daughter as well. Things aren't going to be around for them when they're old. Social Security probably won't even exist when they're older.
No, it may not.
have
It may
to.
not. And everybody needs to be responsible for themselves and providing
Yes.
for their own retirement in their
Yes.
golden ages, when their income stops. But yeah, but my dad was right. Hindsight's 2020. At my age now, I wish I had started in my 20s. I wish I had cared, but I just think that is part of being in your 20s. You don't really most. There may be some exceptions out there, but I think mostly in your 20s, you just want to have fun. You don't want to think about the heavy stuff, man.
Go dancing. Yes.
You want to go dancing and,
buy
and-
pretty clothes.
and just be free. You
Well,
want to be
when
20
you're making
year old.
that kind of money, you're all excited. You're not used to it. You're
Yeah.
like, wow, I worked a day, made $1,000. I'm going to go spend it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy a purse.
Yeah. Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
I was that way back in the day. Not anymore.
No.
No.
So one last thing about paying your house off. I hope those that have extra money every month and can afford to do it, start doing it if you haven't already. And the advice I would give would be to don't keep checking your statement. Because once when you start paying your house off, it's like watching grass grow.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really see a difference. It's frustrating, and you don't really see a difference. So my suggestion would be send the payment in. And don't look at the statement.
Yeah.
Just don't look at the statement. Look at it in maybe 3 years.
Can I say one more thing
Sure.
that I don't think people are aware of? That you pay all the interest up front and the principal is paid last
Yeah.
as you pay the money in.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yes. So,
Yes.
so every
Oh.
cent that you send in extra will go directly towards your principal.
Go directly.
Extra money.
Yeah.
And
Because
you have to specify principal only.
Yeah,
Because this is
right,
how the
yeah.
banks
Yes.
set it up. They're lending you all that
Yeah,
money. They
yeah.
want their money,
Money
for
up
just
front.
like, just like Mr. Wonderful on Shark Tank.
Yeah. Love Shark Tank, yeah.
That's right. I mean, he does a lot of deals where you're going to pay me $5 for every unit until my investment's paid
back.
off.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, so I understand the banks doing that. They loaned you a lot of money, 3, 4, 5, $600,000, whatever it may be, and they want to make sure they collect their money. So they are collecting that money, that interest up front,
Well, you can't blame
and none of it or very little of it, if none, is going towards.
Well, no, a little bit does
A
have
little
to.
bit does go towards the price of the home, but a
principal.
lot of it is going towards the interest, So anyway, yeah. So, okay. Wow. I didn't even know we were going to talk about homes
I
and
know,
paying homes
right?
off. And so how long have we been on this podcast, Willow?
45 minutes.
Okay. So we got about 15 more minutes. So we talked about pivoting your prices, looking at your business and where you can operate more leanly, more smartly, even at home. If you got 10 streaming channels, maybe you go down to 3 streaming channels.
Check
What
your
else?
banks. You check your credit card statements too for things that you shouldn't be paying.
Yeah, I mean, I check my bank account and my credit card statements every single week, and you wouldn't believe what I find on there.
Yeah.
Things that should not be on there, Mary.
Oh, great.
Swear to God, like
Yeah.
Uber charges in like Florida. Yeah, I'm not kidding. So I check every week, and I would say every 3-4 months.
There's something.
And there's something on there that
Mhm.
shouldn't be on there. So if you're not checking your credit card statements, your bank account, you should be checking them weekly and making sure all the deductions, all the payments on there are legit and someone doesn't have your number. Maybe what about look, if you're paying rent, what about getting out of paying rent and going to a commission based? If you're an artist, that way there's no money out of pocket, right? Because a lot of people pay rent to be
Yeah,
in a
they
studio
stress about
or a
it,
salon,
yes.
and they're stressing about it. You could talk to your salon owner, your studio owner, and talk, and maybe they'll negotiate and put you on a commission based to where you're not responsible for paying rent every week or every month, and and every appointment you bring in, then the studio gets a commission off that. That might take some stress away.
I think most owners are used to the steady check because if they're not making money off clientele, they're not going to get paid.
Yeah.
I think that might be hard for them to do that.
Yeah, if they're used to keeping everything and then paying.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, maybe
Yeah.
the newbie.
Unless you have a nice landlord.
Yeah. Or maybe if you're a newbie and you're looking for a place to land right now.
Yeah.
Maybe
Start out
commission.
with
Start out.
commission.
Maybe
Better
starting
way.
out commission is going to be the better way to go.
Yeah.
'Cause it's not money out
Don't
of your
even lay
pocket.
rent down as an option.
Right. I think another way artists can make money right now is becoming an affiliate for a class that you believe in. And I'll give an example, like Lyft, the saline removal class. We have affiliates, and so if they believe in the class, and a lot of our affiliates are trainers or ones that took the class, so they got websites or closed Facebook groups or whatever. And they become an affiliate, which means they get a custom affiliate link. And anyone they refer to their affiliate, they can put it on their website. They can send it out to their students, their email blast, Facebook groups they belong on. And people that they get to sign up through that affiliate link, they get a commission. So that's a way to generate income.
Yes.
So,
Automatic too, isn't it?
it's automatic.
Mhm.
It's automatic. Well, with our program, It's automatic. They get, and we do different commission levels depending on their involvement. Trainers, if you're a trainer, a way to save money is join some good training programs that have discounts and incentives, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of trainers out there, and it's getting more expensive to put on a training class because they have to buy pigments, they have to buy the latex, they have to buy all the supplies for the students. So look for a good trainer program.
Some even provide machines.
Yeah, some
so it
trainers
can
even
get
provide
expensive,
machines
yes.
because it can get expensive. Some trainers provide good machines, and then there's some trainers that provide the little $30-$40
Machines.
which is okay,
Alibaba, yeah.
just to get them on latex,
Yeah.
during the class and for learning. But we at Girls Inc. developed a trainer program, really good. Olivia, Willow, me, Kat, Sarah, we all sat down, and it took quite a while, writing everything out, figuring out what can we do, what can we offer our trainers, where can we give them discounts, incentives, and how can we help support their students. So we do that, and So that's a good way. And in our training program, I even do quarterly Zoom calls with all the trainers that are in our training program. So I'm really excited about that, because sometimes trainers need support or maybe they have questions. It's kind of like coaching sessions, maybe events, where they can talk to me as a trainer, and maybe they have something they want to develop or something they're not sure if they should implement, or where they can maybe make their training better or whatnot. So I'm really excited about that.
Or how to get more students. Because I have lots of suggestions on how to get students. So, yeah. So those are all.
Sounds interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah.
Because some people like you, Mary, you're Mother Mary, you're a nano queen. You just get your students because of your stellar reputation in the last 19 years.
Oh,
right?
thank you.
And you're still a really busy trainer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. Maybe what about get a second job if need be?
Yeah. Yep. Some people have actually left the industry. A couple of my students, they just weren't making any money and they had to leave it. And just there's nothing. They were in areas that weren't very highly generating traffic, so they had no choice.
Yeah.
They maybe said they'll readdress it later on, but they can't do any. They just weren't making any money. It's very sad.
It's so sad. Even here,
yeah.
We've had a lot of people apply to be artists here because studios are closing here in Vegas.
Yeah.
They're closing down. Mm-hmm. And I think across the board, no matter where you are.
No matter how big a business you are or how small you are, it's affecting everybody.
Yeah.
So don't think like you're alone, because you're not alone. It's happened to all of us.
No.
Yeah.
It's happening to everybody.
Yeah, it's happening to everybody.
You
So
know.
you just have to, like I said, pivot. You have to just change things up a little bit.
Yeah.
I've changed some things up to my benefit. I just feel like you just have to kind of go with the times. And yes, they're rough and bad right now, but you need to prepare, you need to.
Yeah, I think this is the time where people need to be super tenacious.
Yeah.
You have to be, if PMU is what you love, it's what I love. Nothing could make me quit this, Mary.
No,
I don't
I
care.
agree.
I would go get a second job. I'd get and I have done it. I did it in the beginning of my career. I had a second job because I couldn't pay my bills on just while my clientele was building.
What was your second job?
You just want me to say it, don't you?
Cocktail waitress?
No, I was doing that full time before I went into PMU. But there was no Uber, but there was this little local company called Meals on Wheels. And so I had.
Oh my God, my grandmother gets that delivered to her.
Yeah,
house.
I did that.
Oh wow,
I did that, and so we would have a little walkie-talkie. I would pull into the dispatch. I would pull into the dispatch station, and I'd get my walkie-talkie. I'd check out my walkie-talkie, and I had my area of town, and I had like 5 restaurants. I had the Macaroni Grill. I had Applebee's and Chili's. I had what's that steakhouse? What's that?
Outback.
The onion.
Outback.
Yeah, Outback. The Funyun. What's that onion called?
The blooming onion.
The blooming onion. I had Outback, and I think I had Lone Star Steakhouse. And so with this job, I would go sit in this one particular grocery shopping parking lot because it was so well lit. And my job would start at like 5:00 at night. And I would sit there. And while I was sitting there, I could read all my permanent makeup books and manuals. And then it would come in, Teryn, this is dispatcher. We have a pickup at Macaroni Grill. Macaroni Grill, Teryn, Roger. And I'd be like, oh, Roger that. Yeah. And I would head off to Macaroni Grill.
Yeah,
and then you deliver.
I'd pick up the order. I go deliver it,
Did you get tips?
Oh, yeah, I got tips.
Nice.
Yeah, because I'm cute and adorable. I'm nice and friendly. Yeah, then I go back to the, sometimes on some nights, I didn't have time to go park because it was just from one restaurant to the other. The other was super busy. But during the week, sometimes I had time to park. So I think like if you love PMU and you decided like this is your life, this is what you're meant to do, and you're struggling, you find a way.
Yep.
You keep the faith. Don't let anything rock your faith. And there's something that like manifestation and positive thought, which and positive thought can be really difficult right now. We all get negative thoughts, myself included. And for me, my negative thoughts can sit and stay a very long time if I'm not conscientious and don't deliberately do something to remove them.
Yeah.
I have to disrupt them. And if they sit, they can recycle with me. And I don't think I'm alone. I think there's a lot of people that get negative like nobody nobody on earth not gets negative thoughts. Maybe like Gandhi, right?
Yeah.
He's so spiritually evolved. But everybody gets negative thoughts. It's when these negative thoughts come, do you allow them to stay and circulate and recycle and then affect you? Do you start believing them? Or do you find a way to get rid of the negative thought and get back to faith, right? And and you have to be very proactive, and you actually have to do something. You have, like, for me, it's my Bob Marley song, Three Little Birds, right? I'm not going to sing it, but it's don't worry about a thing, because every little thing is going to be all right. Yeah, Bob Marley, Three Little Birds. But when I get negative thoughts, I start singing that song. That's my disruptor song, to stop that negative thought. So that's what I want to leave people with today, is when those negative, scary thoughts come in about your business, about your future, find a song, find something to disrupt that thought and get back to faith, right?
Yep.
Get back to faith and know, and maybe say some affirmations like, my faith is so deep, no one, no thing, no circumstance, no struggle, no challenge, no economy has the power to take from me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true. Be thankful. Thankful for what you have. Even though it may not be a whole lot right now, thankful for what you have. People have it a lot worse.
Yes.
People have it a lot worse right now.
100%.
Yeah.
So, I think
that's a good note to end on.
Yeah,
that is a good note.
That is good. Yeah.
That is a good note. Well, we talked about some, some scary stuff and some
yeah.
things that aren't so happy, but it's reality right now for a lot of people. So I don't want to pretend it's not happening, but there's a way to maneuver through it too and navigate through it, and and that's through positive thought. Yeah. And I think also reaching out, not keeping it all in, talking to somebody, friends, family, partners. When I get like super scared and I get like at these thoughts, I can talk to Kat. I can talk to Kat about anything. And I'm really grateful that I have friends like you I can talk to. And you too.
Yeah.
You've gone through some troubling times, personal things, the last several months. And you and I talked, and
I'm ready for 2023 to be gone. I'm ready for 2024.
Yeah. But it helps, Mare, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Don't be afraid to cry and get it out.
Yeah.
I always have a box of tissue for you.
Yeah. I fell off the grid there for a little while. So.
You did.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
We all do.
Yeah.
We all do. We all do. And thank God for friends.
Thank God.
Yes. And so lean on your friends or your family, whoever it is in your circle, you can lean on, right? A safe place to fall.
Yep.
We all need that.
Yeah.
So, and Mary.
Yes.
Where are we going tonight?
We are going to the Loverboy concert.
We are. We're going to Loverboy. So if you don't know who Loverboy is, and there's probably a lot of young followers. It's going to age us
really quick.
Well, hey, I like 80s music. A lot of people that are young like 80s music. So yes, if you don't know who Loverboy is, then get on Spotify and or YouTube and Google Loverboy. But he had like 10 or 11 songs. Like you and I know every single word to. We're going to be screaming.
I was
tonight.
actually listening to him on the way here from your house.
I knew only one song.
You only know me and Mary know every song. And back in the 80s, when you look at him in the 80s, I don't know. I just found him sexy. I don't know why, but I really did, with his leather pants, and he was like this, and he was thin, and he had his hair. And now,
probably because he looked like a girl.
Well, he did. That's very, very funny, Mary. You sound like my father. You sound like my dad.
I'm sorry. That was very funny.
Yeah, because he looked like a girl. Yeah, makes sense, right, Mary? Makes sense.
Yes.
That's
Your
what
dad used to say.
My dad said that. Well, my dad. Okay, so all through high school, whatever, I loved hair bands. I loved the longer the
Poison,
Motley Crue, Bon Jovi, the long hair teased with Aquanet makeup. I loved that look. I thought they were so sexy. I wanted, that's who I would pretend I was like making out. I loved them men. And my dad would tease the shit out of me. Gee, they look like girls. I don't get it. Well, then I came out. I end up, after high school, I'm a lesbian. So I tell my dad, so I wrote my dad a letter. That's how I told my dad that I was a lesbian. I write him a letter. Scared to hell. And so he calls me, right? He answers the phone, right? And we had voicemails, so he leaves me a voicemail. So I call him back. And he tells me it's I got your letter. It's okay, Teryn. I love you. You're my kid. You're my daughter. Come over for spaghetti dinner. So I go over for spaghetti dinner. And he was like, well, thank God. Thank God that's all it was. You like girls. No big deal. Dad likes girls. My parents were divorced by that time. And I was avoiding him. So he thought I was on drugs or doing something really bad. So he's like, thank God that's all it is. And I said, yeah. And he's like, and I got to tell you, everything just makes sense now. It all falls into place for Dad. It all makes sense. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Well, the bands that you like, the boys that you used to bring to the house, the long hair, the makeup, it all makes sense now, honey. You like the girly boys, you like girls. It makes sense. Because I couldn't understand it.
Oh, that's so funny.
Why you were attracted to boys with long hair. So that's funny. Another Dan Darlin moment. Lots of moments with Dan Darlin. But anyway, Mary, thanks for sitting down.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Yeah.
I'll hopefully be back in another 3 months.
Yeah. We always have you on here when you're teaching. We always have something to talk about. Kat.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. You want to leave the listeners with a little nothing?
Like what?
I don't know.
Like you're taking me to dinner soon.
Yes, I am.
For doing this.
Yeah. For doing this. Okay. All right.
Twist.
All right. Well, that concludes this episode of A Tatter-a-fact. So, as always, stay in the pursuit of happiness, and we will see you next time.